The main reason I joined the Army was to serve my country. You know, a lot of the people that I joined with, that I've served with, will give you a variety of reasons why they joined. You know, job experience, college money. For me, it was very much, I wanted to serve my country.
My son and I, Adam, we were jogging around West Mountain one afternoon. We began talking about our future. I brought up the idea of maybe joining the Army. Long story short, we were shipped to Fort Leonard Wood together. I was 41, he was 19. We went through basic training together. This was difficult at times, but rewarding at times as well.
Earlier in life, like when I was still in high school, we trained and competed in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts all over the country. You know, went places like Columbus, Ohio, Colorado, Atlanta, Georgia, you name it, we went there, and we competed. It was actually Dad's idea to join. He brought it up first, and went to the recruiter with him. The rest is history. We went to basic and AIT together, and the drill sergeants got a kick out of that. They thought that was funny. My father and I say, you know, we share the same first and last name, and at the time we shared the same rank. If you're going to join the military, if that's something that you have in your mind, and this is to anybody who watches this, I would tell you to do it for the right reasons. Understand the sacrifice that you're going to make, understand what you're signing up for, and understand that it will not be easy, and that the things that you're promised you may or may not get. You see every day about issues that we're having with the VA and how the government fails veterans, and how the government uses us politically as pawns. Understand that your sacrifice is just that, is a sacrifice. Do not expect to be repaid for what you do. Do it for the right reasons. Do not sign up for college money. That's dumb. Dying on a hillside for college money is dumb. You heard it here. Don't do it for that. If you sign up and you go to fight the fight, do it for love of country, and that's it. That's all. If you're signing up for anything else, don't do it. Stay home.
So many people are afraid of the unknown and will never face the unknown. They let their fears control them. He does not. He faces his fear and goes anyway.
The main things that I feel like if I wanted people to know about my service, I would really want them to know why. Because that's, for a lot of people, that's hard to grasp. And even if I tell you, and I did tell you, that it was love of country. A lot of people still don't understand. They're like, well, why are you fighting somebody else's war? It's not someone else's war, it's our war. If you don't fight that stuff over there, it will come here. And we've already seen some of that. We've already seen some of the things, and people will deny this and say that. There's a lot of talking heads that will have commentary about this or that, and they'll say this or that, oh, well, that's our fault, and we made a mess, so we have to clean it up. And I don't disagree with some of that. But the fact of the matter is there are people out there that live and breathe to take lives of Westerners, of Americans, of Europeans, of people that don't live and think like they do. And the reality is, if we don't handle that, if we don't take care of that, it will follow us home. So either go fight the war, go fight the fight, or fight it in your own streets. And you don't want the stuff that we did over there to be here. I promise you.
Speaking not from a soldier's perspective, but from a parent's perspective, you watch the news a lot. You watch for phone calls. You worry, wanting to hear from them, fearing the doorbell or fearing the phone call that might bring the news that maybe he's not coming back home.
All I could think about was all those stories, all the news, all the media, until I stopped watching it. I was very concerned about where every occurrence happened. I became obsessive with it until my son told me to stop. He said, Mom, I'll let you know when there's reason to worry. And I stopped watching. And I stopped worrying. And after that, I was able to talk to him more. like he's my son.
It was just at 11 months since I'd left Afghanistan the first time to when I went back. And I felt like there were some things that I had left undone, and I was excited to have a chance to go back and do them. After my third deployment, I went through a divorce. You know, I've not been around for most of my kids' lives. I was able to come home for my first child's birth, but for my son, I was away. The first time I met my son, he was 6 months old, and I was fresh out of Afghanistan. And like I said, all that time away from my wife at the time, our relationship ended up, you know, in a divorce. And things really still aren't very, you know, good between us because of all that time. There's a lot of bitterness. And, you know, it's not really anybody's fault. It had to be done at the time. It was the right thing to do, and I don't regret what happened. I don't regret going. But yeah, it's extremely difficult on the family. You know, there was a phrase in the military we had, a cadence that we said when we marched or when we ran, and it was part of the cadence was go to war, go to jail, and that's reality. You're going to go. But you know, I didn't have to re-enlist. No one made me. The reason I stay in, the reason I keep doing it is because I love it and I'm good at it. And I believe in what we're doing over there. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about Afghanistan and about Iraq and about what's happening over there. And I'll tell you this, the people who oppose those conflicts have a fundamental misunderstanding of strategic level homeland defense. The fact of the matter is you cannot leave large swaths of land unattended to. You can't let those regions get destabilized. And while economic reform in those places is needed, and while there is room for diplomatic things, there are individuals in those parts of the world that cannot be reasoned with. The only thing that they understand, the only thing that will work is the edge of a blade. And that's a tough reality for a lot of people in the United States to face because, you know, most people are not made the way people like me are made, and that's fine. I'm happy to be that person. I'm happy to go where my country needs me to go to do things that the average individual does not want.
It's always very anxious because, you know, the more times that he goes over, the higher the chance is that he doesn't come back. But I know in his heart that this is what he was meant to do. He loves this. He was made to do this. There are certain people that make up this world, and he is one of the people that do this. And I love him that he has found his passion, that he has found what he's supposed to, his path for this world. But it doesn't make it any less scary.
I'm excited, as once again, it's something I haven't done yet. It's a place I haven't been. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to get to do my job again. But to be honest, I just want to go so I can get it done, so I can get it over with. I'm tired. You know, this is, and you know, my sacrifice pales in comparison to a lot of other guys that I've been in with and I've served with. I've served with some of the very best of America's sons. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. You know, he's on his 7th deployment now. This is only my 4th. And a lot of people are like, "Oh man, 4 deployments." You know, even though I'm going back over, you know, better men than me went one time and never came back. My sacrifice it pales in comparison to men like that. My father taught me what love of country really means from the time I was small. You know, a lot of people call soldiers heroes. We hate that, by the way. The heroes are all dead. The heroes are the ones that never came home. But from the time I was small, Dad made sure to point out to me what heroes looked like. And I don't know anyone who would sacrifice more for what he believes in than my dad.
I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of him. He's going into. I'm very proud of him.